So we're here at the U.S. Olympic Training Center with two of America's top wrestlers, Katherine Fulp-Allen, and we've got Kelsey Campbell here. And you guys had an opportunity to participate in a pretty special day on, it was National Girls and Women's in Sports Day, and USA Wrestling did some clinics around the country. And just thought I'd ask a little bit from each of you how you thought your clinics went, that you were working with the young athletes, and you know, some of the experience of doing that. Katherine, you were in New York City. Talk a little bit about how that was set up and your just thoughts of being involved with that.
Yeah, it was a really great event, and we kind of wanted to take all the facts that USA Wrestling kind of wanted us to educate the girls about, and we added some, and we turned it into like a little Jeopardy game after I talked with them, which was really cool and really fun, and the girls responded really well to it. It's always hard to know, like, especially with a group, and if they've only met you once or twice. I've met some of the girls before when I did a Beat the Streets clinic, but sometimes it's hard to tell if like the girls will just like open up and be willing to like play and learn the information, or if they'll just be really shy. And they opened up. It was really exciting, and it was really fun. So yeah. Now, Kelsey, you had a chance to go back to your home state of Oregon and ran into a nice group. You had both boys and girls in your clinic. Talk a little bit about how your clinic went.
Yeah, it was so awesome to go back to Oregon and to be able to have something like that for the young athletes there. It was great for me. You know, there was a lot of people there that have actually followed my career, and I, for the first time, got to go back and give back to them that way, and so it meant a lot to me to be able to connect with them and to connect with the parents and the families. I think that's what I'm running into a lot lately, is just I'm not just reaching the athletes, but I'm reaching all the people in their lives, and you reach so many more people than just the athletes when you reach their siblings and you reach their parents, and you realize girls wrestling is truly for everyone. But there were some young boys there too, which was cool. And you know, if you can win over the young male wrestlers, then you can really win the world.
So this was a celebration of two things. We had National Girls and Women's in Sports Day, which is a big thing for women's athletics every year, and then there's a new Super 8 program, which or UWW, the International Federation, is doing. Katherine, what was it like to be involved in something where you were helping maybe grow the sport, not just you know, in that area, but around the country and the world? I think it was all kind of perfect timing that we had both those events kind of coincide, and I think that, yeah, like kind of like what Kelsey was saying, like the impact's starting to go beyond just those girls that we get in the room, and it's like the family. And so I think that being involved where you're actually touching different people's lives and beyond that is pretty exciting. And I'm glad that we've had that Super 8 campaign at the same time. So Kelsey, was there anything you thought that was really fun or interesting about your clinic that, you know, maybe you hadn't had expected when you showed up?
I mean, I think clinics are always fun, and there's always some unexpecteds. I had one little girl draw some art for me, and that meant a lot. And, you know, I think in these clinics you have so many different levels that you have to keep it fun, you know, because you don't want to bore the people that know what they're doing, and you don't want to be too advanced for the beginners. So we try to make it fun for everybody, but I think it was just cool to have parents and athletes come and tell their stories. And one girl, she was crying because she was injured because she couldn't wrestle, but she was still there the whole time. She was so brokenhearted that she couldn't actually wrestle. And so just to see the determination, the commitment of some of these athletes, and just even their hearts to be like, you've impacted me so much, this is what I want to give you. And for them to come and have something to offer me, it's priceless. And so I think those things definitely stood out to me for sure.
Katherine, did you get some feedback as well from any of the people in the clinic, things that maybe you hadn't thought about, or just kind of brightened your day?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of the girls at the end, especially when we did kind of a big talk, and then we did the Jeopardy game, and then we had the break, and we went to our clinic, and it was, we had like, you know, a lot of different moving parts going on, and so sometimes you forget, like, okay, well, did I actually, like, you know, make an impact on some of these girls? And it was awesome that at the end they all kind of came up to me and they were like, oh, thank you so much, like, keep doing what you're doing, like, this is so exciting, so inspiring. And I was like, oh yeah, did this work? How did this go, you know? So that made it really special. And a lot of parents came up and were just so awesome about the support they were giving their daughters, and just the support that, even though they didn't know me, that they were giving me, you know. So that made it really a unique experience. Yeah.
Now, both of you had experiences where you grew up in an area where boys were mostly wrestling and girls were not, and kind of went through the process of getting into the sport and then into women's wrestling. Are you feeling or seeing an enthusiasm and energy, something that people are seeing that is encouraging them to build the sport and get more people involved? Kels, start with you.
Yeah, I think so. Like, and I think for me, going home, I can't think of a time where I've ever gone home and done something like this in my own backyard. And I think that's important for the athletes to see, that people can come out of their own hometown and do something. So I think that creates excitement. I think that just connecting with them on that level and telling your story, and then telling them the practicals, like, reach out to us, reach out to Terry Steiner, reach out to Aaron Tomio, follow us on Facebook. I mean, that's the world we live in now, social media, and just showing them that there's so many ways to reach us, that it's not just they're there and we're here. Like, we're all connected, and they're super important to this movement. And so I think just us going to these places and connecting with them creates the excitement. Just showing them that we're human and that we have stories, and that it wasn't necessarily all smooth sailing when we were growing up doing it. We had people in our lives to help us, and we're just there to pay it forward.
Hey, Katherine, you're from California, where there's probably more girls wrestling than anywhere. But you know, New York, they're still developing it, especially in the city area where they were there. Did you see some real enthusiasm for the growth of the sport that's so important to you?
Yeah, and the unique thing about New York City is that I feel like the city kind of makes you feel like a little fish in a big pond. I mean, it's huge. So I think all these girls really had a pretty good understanding that what they were doing was really special, and that it made them really unique, that they're part of something special, especially when, you're part of such a huge city, and sometimes you can feel like, oh, I'm lost, like, what do I do? And so I thought it's such an important program for those city girls. And I hope that we, really showed them that they are part of something really big, and part of something that impacts not just them right now, but the girls later on who will wrestle after them. And just excitement to be there, for sure.
So I'm hearing that they were all big successes. Do you guys think this is something maybe we should try to make a regular part of what we do with USA Wrestling?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely.
I mean, I haven't necessarily talked to the other girls, but I've already gotten some calls and emails about doing more stuff, especially in the Northwest, and for her, obviously the California area. I mean, that's her hometown, and I think if we can just make things, I know it takes a lot of work and there's a lot of people involved, but it's awesome to be able to go out there and connect on that level, and to be more than just a name or a slot on national team, but to be like someone's mentor in Oregon or New York City or Indiana or wherever. That's super special, and I feel like that goes a really long way. And you just never know if what you say in that clinic, if that's going to be what clicks for that future champion.
Right.
And you just can't put a price tag on that, and you can't put a time frame on that. It's just that important,
Katherine, your thoughts about how this could grow?
Yeah. I think for the national team side, I think it kind of helps you remember, why you're still doing it. I think both sides end up with a disconnect sometimes. Those girls, maybe they'll read or see, and it's hard. Even when I was younger, it was hard understanding what those older girls were doing. And I think it goes both ways. I think it inspires us too. Like, I was really inspired, like, that's right, this is why I'm doing this. Like, it impacts all the way down. So I think both teams, I guess you could say, the young girls, the older girls, they can support each other, and this is just going to kind of inspire both groups to move and progress forward. So
now, we want to be the best wrestling nation in the world in women's wrestling, right? Do you guys see a future with those young ones that gives you some encouragement that Team USA is going to be strong for a long time?
Definitely. Like, our group, they were just totally focused, and I gave them some really challenging things to focus on that weren't just like learn this move and then this move. It was a lot more form and function, and they like handled it like champs, and those are the things that'll take that person to the next level, and they really like grasped right to it. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time. I mean, I'm glad you had fun. I also am glad it was a success. And certainly we want to take a lot of pride in not only our athletes, but the whole women's program top to bottom. So thanks for helping out and sharing their stories.
Yeah, you're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.